Flyers Pizza in West Jeff. It is media day with the West Jeff Roughrider football team as they get set to take on Urbana this Friday night, get their 2021 season going. And the man to my right, Canyon Schneider, is going to be the center, the guy, the main attraction on that offensive line. For the center for the Roughriders coming up this year, also going to play on defense, and we'll talk about that as well. Canyon, only guy back from the end of the season offensive line last year. You had seniors to the left and the right. You got new guys left and right of you this year. Tell me about the offseason and here in camp, the cohesiveness of this offensive line, because now you're the guy, you're the leader up front.
Well, yeah, absolutely. The success, as we've seen in the past few years of my, tenure as a Rough Rider, success falls on the offensive line. And I know being the only returner, that's a big weight on my shoulders, but I feel fully confident in the guys that I've grown up with. We have some guys that can play, and I'm extremely excited to, just finally be able to showcase their talents because they've put in an amazing offseason, amazing work, and I can't wait to share the field with them this fall.
You said amazing playmakers. One of them is behind you in Hayden Salyer at running back. We saw what he can do, had a couple of really big games last year. What is it about an offensive line and the pride you take in getting a running back his 100 yards or 1,000-yard season?
Well, for Hayden, I know that he's a guy that isn't very caught up in the stats. And even in practice, he's always pushing us to be our best. And like you said last year, he really took off there at the end. And ever since our days of, playing on the West Jeff Brown football team over on Converse Field, I just know that Hayden takes a lot of pride in running the ball. And the guys up front, the five, whoever's rotating up there, we're all taking pride in protecting him too and making him look good under the lights.
It's always good to see the back of his uniform numbers running away from you, right?
Absolutely. Just, there's a bunch of plays last year, just, watching him break one out. Mechanicsburg's one, for an example, or if it's like a tailback screen, just being the lead blocker for him is a great feeling on a Friday night. Especially, he does an amazing job of recognizing us up front and also pushing us to be our best. So we're really excited to see what Hayden can do this year.
So you're the quarterback of the offensive line, but you also have to work with the real quarterback, Tyler Bisher, behind you. The chemistry between center and quarterback, explain that to us.
It's a very special thing. I'm very fortunate to have a guy back there that's a field general. He's also been my best friend since kindergarten. Actually, back in the day, I was the quarterback and he was the center. But, sizes have flipped a little bit since then. But it's really special to have the connection that I do with Tyler. It's almost like, we're seeing the same stuff, calling the same stuff out. But being able to protect, for Tyler, just like, my lifelong best friend, is an amazing feeling. And like you said, the quarterback of the offensive line is a huge honor. The centers in front of me have done an amazing job of setting an example of, how to be the quarterback, so to say. So I'm really excited to see, especially what Tyler can do and what we can do up front.
Now, you had one of the biggest plays in the playoffs last year in the Anna game, a deflected ball into the air. You're on defense. It falls into your hands, and you hang on to it. I always joke with my buddies. As an old friend of mine, Greg Fry, a former Ohio State quarterback, used to yell steak dinner every time that there was one that would fall into a defensive lineman's hands. How was that steak dinner last year?
Well, my steak dinner was watching Cordetti kick his extra, his field goal to win it. But I remember when it happened, everything was just like, wow, I really did that. Walking off the field, it felt awesome. I kind of felt like just like the guy on the field for a little bit. But then it kind of like set in, we're playing an extremely talented returning state champs team, and we kind of had to dial back in. But, when trying tip that ball and it kind of just, magically fell into my hands there, that was pretty cool.
How about the guys up front on defense? Because we are going to see some new faces on that side of the football down in the trenches as well.
Absolutely. We're bringing in a lot of new guys. And I say new guys, but, we're all seniors and juniors. And actually a few sophomores have been stepping up. But I'm extremely excited just to, kind of like with the offensive line, just showcase what, we've been working on. We've had some amazing D linemen come through West Jeff in my tenure. And, there's a bunch of guys that I'm really seeing able to put it down and just be difference makers on the field. And that's what you need up front. Much like the offensive line, what I mentioned earlier, games are won up front in the trenches. So I'm excited to, kind of showcase that on a Friday night under the lights and see what we can do.
Well, no surprise. People think that offensive linemen are the big uglies and you guys aren't very smart, but you're very well spoken. You obviously have a good head on your shoulders. You're ready to help lead this team. But if I asked you to come up with one word to describe this 2021 season, your expectation before the season, can you come up with one word or a phrase that might get people fired up for Friday night?
Special. We have 26 seniors and a whole lot of guys ready to contribute. Coach B's mentioned it a few times. Obviously, I'm no historian, but that's a really big senior class, especially for a D6 school like us. It's just a very special feeling to finally take that, final step in our journey in the brown and gold. And I know that me and the other guys, the seniors, so to say, are just so ready for the bittersweet, end of our journey. We're not sure when it's going to be over or when that, clock is going to finally hit zero. But I know that we're all striving to push towards whenever it does hit zero that we're satisfied and we're ready to, close the chapter.
Well, hopefully it'll be a special season for you,
Absolutely.
your seniors, and the rest of the teammates. Canyon, have a great season. Thanks for the time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Center, defensive lineman Canyon Schneider joining us here on Media Night. You can see him and the Roughriders take on Urbana on Friday night.